You know, when we go to the doctor, we place an incredible amount of trust in their hands, right? We trust their skill, their judgment, their care. But what happens when that trust gets broken? When a procedure goes wrong? It's just devastating. And from a legal point of view, it brings up a really, really tough question. So, what is the actual legal line between a really unfortunate outcome and genuinely bad medicine? How does the law even begin to tell the difference between an unavoidable complication and a preventable mistake that counts as negligence? That's the huge question we're going to break down right now. Okay, so to really get a handle on negligence, we have to start with the most fundamental thing, the obligation every single doctor has to every single patient. And this isn't just some moral high ground. It's a cold, hard legal requirement. At the very heart of it all is this concept called the duty of care. This is literally the legal foundation of the entire doctor-patient relationship. It means a doctor is legally required to act in your best interest and to use a reasonable level of skill and attention while treating you. Now, it's also super important to understand what this duty of care isn't. It's not the same thing as informed consent. That's a totally separate legal idea about you agreeing to a procedure. It also doesn't mean your doctor has to be on call for you 24/7, and it doesn't make them legally responsible for how many nurses the hospital has on staff. This duty is all about their professional conduct toward you. So, if a doctor has this duty of care, how does a court actually measure if they lived up to it? I mean, you can't just ask a random person on the street what they think. You need a professional standard, a very specific measuring stick that the law can use. And that measuring stick has a name. It's called the Bolam test. And this is absolutely crucial. What it means is that a doctor's actions are judged against the standards set by their own peers. The question the court asks is basically, did this doctor act in a way that a responsible group of other doctors would say is acceptable? It's not about being perfect. It's about being professionally competent. And this is a really key difference from other areas of the law. A doctor's performance isn't measured against, say, the local doctor in a small town, or the usual reasonable person standard you hear about in a car crash case. And it's definitely not based on whether the doctor thinks they did a good job. The standard is set by the medical profession itself, period. This whole idea of a professional standard of care brings us to the most critical and honestly the most confusing part of this whole topic, the difference between an honest mistake and actual legal negligence. Look, an honest medical error can happen even when a doctor does everything right. Medicine is ridiculously complex, and human bodies are unpredictable. Negligence, though, that's different. Negligence is a failure to meet that standard of care. It's a failure to use the reasonable skill that's expected of a professional in their field. So here's the absolute key takeaway. The law isn't focused on how bad the injury or the outcome was. A patient could have a truly terrible outcome, but if the doctor met the standard of care, it's not legally negligence. On the flip side, a doctor could mess up in a minor way that doesn't cause much harm, but if it was a breach of their duty, it could still be considered negligence. The focus is always on the doctor's actions, not the final result. Okay, so let's say a claim of negligence is made. What happens then? Well, the conversation doesn't just stop there. Doctors and their legal teams have specific defenses, and there are some situations that can change the entire equation. A doctor might argue a few common things. They might say the patient's own actions partly caused the injury, like maybe they didn't follow the aftercare instructions. They can, of course, argue that they did follow the accepted standard of care. Or they might say some external, unforeseeable factor was the real cause. And finally, they might argue that it was an emergency, which, well, that plays by a whole different set of rules. And I really want to pause on this for a second because it is so incredibly important. Signing a consent form is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for a doctor to be negligent. When you sign that form, you are consenting to the known risks of a procedure that's done correctly. You are not consenting to a doctor failing to meet their basic professional duty of care. Now, that emergency situation, that's a huge exemption. The law totally gets that. In a life or death moment, doctors have to make split-second decisions with limited information. So as long as they are acting in good faith, trying to save a life, they are held to a different standard. This is really to make sure that doctors aren't too scared to jump in and act when someone's life is on the line. All right, so let's pull all these pieces together. We've talked about the duty a doctor has, the standard used to measure that duty, and the fine line between a simple error and a breach of that duty. Let's see how it all stacks up. When you look at it this way, it's a pretty clear logical flow. Step 1, you start with a foundation. That duty of care has to exist. Step 2, you measure the doctor's actions against that professional yardstick, the Bolam test. And step 3, if their actions fall below that standard, that failure is medical negligence. It's a whole framework designed to keep professionals accountable while still acknowledging just how complex medicine really is. And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most critical question of all. This entire legal framework is a massive balancing act. On one hand, it has to be strong enough to protect patients from bad medicine. But on the other hand, it can't be so strict that it scares doctors away from taking on the riskiest, most difficult, life-saving cases. It's an incredibly delicate line to walk, and trying to find that perfect balance is the constant challenge right at the very heart of medical law.